Okay, here we are. NAGT6 Season 2. This is round 2. Round 3. Ooh, Trinor jumps it. Bud jumps it. A couple penalties there. This is Tokyo R246. We're at the center cars doing 15 laps, 1 pit stop requirements, racing hard tires. Let's get some information up on the track. So we're doing 15 laps. Big out front with Red Party Hat, then Dexter Pure, Bud, Trinor, and Reflex. Got a good 7 driver field. It's going to be an interesting race. Red Party Hat showing speed early on. Reflex in the back after an accident. Dexter White's going to look at probably making the pass. Oh, gets into Bud Big a little bit there. Gets some momentum going, loses a spot to Bud. Big falling back to 6 after that wreck out of the last corner. Racing hard tires. This race was done last season in Season 1. Same everything, but they had racing soft tires. Now the racing hard tires are a little less grippy, so you slide a little quicker through the corners, slide out to the wall, so you got to really watch it. You can't carry as much speed as you used to. Therefore your lap times are going to suffer a little bit. Dexter White making the bump on Bud. Just making this pass back up to 2nd position. Red Party had taken advantage of that early accident where Dexter White was sticking with him and got slowed up a little bit. Red Party Hat loses control. Dexter White first. Unbelievable. This is the first time I've ever seen Dexter White up front in the road racing series. The first race of every race night is always the road race. This is the first time we've seen Dexter White up in first. He's doing real good. He's not letting Bud bug him, but Bud's right there on his rear end, hoping to get a slipstream down the front stretch to get himself up in first place. Reflex climbed all the way from the back. He's now in 3rd. Red Party Hat in 4th, recovers from his spin. Trinor as well in 5th. Big in 6th. Pure in 7th. A lot of the drivers had a hard time getting out practice for this race, so they're basically very green going into this race. Red Party Hat struggles a little bit on the exit there. Reflex pushing hard now through the field. Stealing 4th position from Trinor. Oh, big wreck. What the hell happened there? Everybody's everywhere. Reflex makes it out alive. Trinor getting a little bit loose. Big survives. Trinor getting back up through the gears. Comes the fast wreck. little loose coming out of that corner. Reflex now is coming up on Red Party Hat's bumper, laying down some of the fastest times we've seen so far. Ooh, Red Party Hat gives Bud a little bump, different braking zones, makes a pass. Red Party Hat second, Bud in third, Reflex right behind them. Reflex is going to get the momentum in the draft off of Red Party Hat. Slingshot by Bud. Bud is good. Here we come to the front stretch. Reflex in red. Going 3 wide. It's going to be interesting to come to this tight right-hander. There's a battle for second right now. Red Party Hat survives through that one, but he's got Reflex and Bud right behind him. Trinor and Andrew into the pits early. This is the first time we've seen this with a whole bunch of people battling for second, but Dexter White just smiling out front in first place, taking advantage of these three slowing each other down and just kind of slowly getting himself a gap between second. Dexter White all by himself up front. Red Party Hat's finally made it through that chaos, and now he's going to slowly start peeling away on Dexter's gap. Hopefully get him here soon. Reflex right there in third, Bud in fourth. Dexter White's got some talented drivers coming up on him, but he's still maintaining great pace. Red Party Hat just seems to be really loose this season. I think he thinks he's in a drifting series. We got a 1 pit requirement, so they're going to look around lap 7 with the pit. So another 3 laps, you'll probably see most of the drivers, if not pitted, starting to pit. Bud is good, in for an early pit. That'll get him some fresh set of tires, get everything out of the way, and he can just focus on running fast laps and get to the end. Let's keep an eye up front. Seems to be where the action is this race. The series will be running the Senna car all season for the road course races, and be running the stock cars all season for the oval series. 2 race nights, 2 races every race night, road course, and then an oval. Monday nights, this is March 2nd, 2015, 8 o'clock Eastern. That's 8 p.m. Eastern. With Tokyo R246, and the guys are going to get this race done and be going into Indianapolis with the stock cars. Red Party Hat not making the gains on Dexter like he's hoping to, but he's slowly reeling them in. Reflex into the wall, pushing a little hard into that corner. Red Party Hat's now up on Dexter. Red Party Hat passing Dexter for first. Dexter sticking right with him. Dexter pushes a little hard. Reflex taking advantage of that. Can't seem to stick it. Dexter keeps himself in second position with an excellent turn through that last corner. Reflex making the pass on Dexter. He's on the inside. Red Party Hat up front. These two are shooting side by side into the first corner. Lap 7. Ooh, Dexter with a better entry and exit. Reflex loose. Reflex has hit the wall. Looks like he might be out of contention for first. Unbelievable. Dexter White sticks it through and gets that pass. Maintaining second position. Reflex pushing a little too hard into the wall, but he's back up. He's still in third. He's still got time to grind this out. Probably going to see some really fast speeds from him now. He's probably going to look at try and catch up to these guys. He's still in contention to win. You never know. He can really pull some magic out of his sock. So let's just wait and see what happens. Let's keep a look at Red Party Hat peeling away from everybody. He's got the time and the speed on Dexter. He's up in front now, right where he wants to be. Red Party Hat leading this race. Dexter in second. Reflex in third. Big has finally feeled his way up through the field, showing some real consistent speeds now. He's got his grip, found his line. Big in fourth, but it's good in fifth. Trinor having some problems with that car with an early wreck. The team has told him there's a vibration in the suspension based on telemetry, so he's been told just to keep that car from really coming out of control and wrecking. He wants to look at just finishing this race. That puts him in 6th right now. Pure in 7th. He just doesn't have speed this race, but running a lot better now, and he hasn't lost control of that car, so he's doing quite well in 7th. Red Party Hat into the pits. And puts Dexter White back out in front. Reflex in second. Once they get all 4 tires off these cars, there's not really much left, is there? She's all rubber. Probably see the leaders pit this time around. Once again, it looks like Dexter White and the Reflex Neop team are running close, if not similar, pit strategies. Dexter White has raced long enough with Reflex to know what to do and what not to do when it comes to pitting. So you're going to see his strategy be quite similar to Reflex from now on, because the team has adapted over the years. It's making the right calls, which is what the Reflex team is doing. So unless he's at a different pace in the Reflex team, you're probably going to see Dexter pit with Reflex here coming up on lap 8, going into lap 9. Got a massive gap on second. But Dexter White's going to look at get the speed, carry it through, and get in and out of the pits as fast as he can, because he's got Red Party Hat coming around, already completed his pits. So when he comes out of that pit stall, he's going to want to make sure that he's out front of Red Party Hat. Yep, he's pitting, he's into the pits. Now it's up to the team to change the tires as fast as they can. No fuel, don't need no fuel for this race. 1 tank of gas will get you through. And like we predicted before, Reflex is also pitting too at Tokyo. Red Party Hat coming down the front stretch now. Dexter White is out. Let's see what happens with the refile. Dexter White beats Red Party Hat out of the pits and has a great exit out of turn 1. Putting himself back in second with Red in third, Bud in fourth, Reflex in fifth, Trinor 6th, Pure in 7th, and Big Fat up in first position. Let's take a look at the leader scoreboard to see who is not pitted yet. Big Fat in first place is not pitted, so he'll be going into the pits. As you can see, our fastest time, blistering speed of 142.5 from Reflex knee up. And a 142.9 from Red Party Hat. Red Party Hat taking Dexter. He's got himself up in second position. He's going to look to stay there and win this race. We're coming up on 5 to go. Let's see who's got the focus to stick this out. Dexter White not falling off. Unbelievable drive by Dexter. If you looked at last season's race compared to this season's race, and this season's race has shittier tires, you can really see a huge improvement in Dexter White's driving. It has a lot to do with many things. He's been practicing quite hard on the off season as well. This has an upgrade in the hardware, back to the potentiometer linear cell brakes, got rid of the pressure cell brakes. Well, definitely a good decision by that team to go back to the older style. It's just a faster set of pedals for sim racers. These are the pedals he's good with, so these are the pedals he's sticking with. Season 2 has seen some growth in the season with a couple drivers coming out for the preseason race and drivers talking on the GT Planet forums. Dexter and Reflex doing a lot of scouting off track to get drivers signed into this series. And we've had consistent 6 drivers show up. Tonight we got a full seat with 7, still missing 1. Want to give a shout out to Bob Lebowski, who wasn't able to make this race, but he's still a full-time driver. He's just having a hard time with the scheduling, but he will be out before you know it. So I want to give a shout out to Bob Lebowski. Come on out, we miss you. Give a shout out for Bud is Good and Big Fat and Pure Violence for coming out to this race. Another 3 good full-time drivers. And Red Party Hat and Reflex as well, and Dexter too. Big is in the pits. Red Party Hat and Dexter taking their first and second position back. Red's got first secure, but Dexter's in second, keeping him threatened. Ooh, Red Party Hat a little loose into that first turn. You can see Dexter White trying some different lines, a little bit different on the throttle, just to try to see where that extra second is that he's losing on these lap times. But not trying to push it too much, because Red Party Hat's making little airs here and there that's helping Dexter gain. And you can see he's got some speed on him here through this section. Red getting a little out of shape through that turn. Let's go back, look at here at third. Bud looking solid now. Reflex starting to close in on that gap third. Two and a half laps left into round 3. Next race is Sunday night, 8 o'clock Eastern. Move back a day. Dexter White showing a little bit more speed here in the last half of this race, running a 144 flat. Red Party has best lap, it's got a second on him. And the second half from the best lap, so he knows there's definitely a lot more room to push this car. Let's give it a skip here. Ooh, Red Party Hat getting a little loose out of that turn. Holy shit, Dexter White taking his advantage. Red Party Hat has lost control, losing first place. There's only 2 laps left of this race. Can Dexter White stick it out, maintain his momentum, and keep that first place victory away from Red Party Hat? That's an error right now that Red Party Hat's wondering will cost him the race. Reflex is gaining up on Bud is good. Bud's going to look to try to hold that third position. He's got less than 2 laps left, and he's got a fast competitor behind him. It's going to be just iffy. Here we go, we're coming down the front stretch, coming to the final lap of this race. Dexter White leading, never seen before. He's going to be awfully nervous through this last lap because he's going to want to win this. This way, if he wins this, this will be his first win on a road course, and it'll be a great victory for this team. Let's see if he can maintain the speed. He's got Red Party Hat, who has been faster than him the whole race. So he's going to have to stick it here and find that speed that he's been looking for all race. Searching deep in his reservoir to figure out where that throttle needs and needs not to come on, but not to push it too hard because he is on worn tires. There's a lot to be weighed on this last lap, so his brain is definitely busy calculating and definitely keeping busy in that rearview mirror to see where that Red Party Hat, make sure he's not making too much gains on him. He's got a little bit of a gap there, so the last thing he wants to do is push it and spin out and beat himself. Reflex has got Bud is good. Reflex has got third position with Red Party Hat second, Dexter in first. We're coming up through a fast sector through this lap. Dexter White's looking fast. Red Party Hat not making any major leaps, but he is gaining. This is going to be chancy through. We're coming on the last final corner. This corner is tricky. You have to hit this right or you will lose your momentum down the front stretch. Dexter White and Red Party Hat both looking good. Red gets a little bit loose. Dexter White veering off to make sure that Red Party Hat doesn't get that slipstream. Here it is to the line. Dexter White, 5150. Out of 4 years with the series. Here it is, folks. Dexter White winning his first series road race. Dexter White in first. Congratulations. With Red in second. Reflex in third. Bud in fourth. Big in fifth. Pure in sixth. And Trinor in seventh. Congratulations to the Dexter White 5150 team winning his first road racing. Unbelievable drive by him. Congratulations. Thanks for watching. Let's get on to Indianapolis, out of these Senate cars and into the stock cars.